joining Wandering Wino. I'm Sean Burgett, and today we've got a special treat. Today we get to meet with Gary Eberle from Paso Robles. Thanks so much, Gary.
Sean, pleasure.
And I'll just first start off by saying, I was the guy that passed you at the bathroom that said go blue.
No, it's go blue and white.
I'll just set that there.
Okay.
Those of you that don't know, Gary played football.
Defensive tackle, and I played lacrosse for Penn State.
Okay.
A long time ago.
So I'm interested to know how you've gone from Penn State football, defensive tackle, to Paso pioneer.
Making wine. Well, I grew up in Pittsburgh, one of the little suburb steel towns, Pittsburgh, and Coriopolis, Moon Township out by the airport. And the busted family, painted plywood floors in the house. I mean, no way I was going to college. But fortunately for me, I was big and fast and really cute, and high school All-American, and everybody suddenly wanted me to go to school, and I wanted to play for Joe Paterno, so I went to Penn State. I was going to be a biology teacher and a high school coach because I had no frame of reference early on what I was going to do. And then I student taught, and I went, I don't think I'm cut out to be a teacher at the high school level. So I went on to graduate school and went down and got a master's at LSU, Louisiana State University. I had this one professor, and he and I both liked opera. And about once a month we would exchange dinners. You know, I'd go to his house and his wife would cook dinner for my wife and myself, and then I'd go listen to an opera. And then we'd do the same thing at our apartment. And I was trying to convince him that he should be drinking, really good wines like Lancers and Mateus and Blue Nun. And he was trying to get me to drink Chateau Latour and Chateau du Coubocaillou, and he won. I had this epiphany.
How long did that take?
not many operas, and I just had this epiphany, and I went, not only am I changing my wine from, Mateus to Chateau Latour, but I don't even want to be a geneticist anymore. I want to be a winemaker.
When you came out in 73, how many wineries were out here, and what was it like?
There were 3 wineries, all wineries that had been in Paso since the repeal of Prohibition, because there had been vineyards in the area, not many, not much, but some small producers producing primarily Zinfandel. There was some Petit Syrah, and there was actually some Palomino growing in a small vineyard, but it was essentially, I would say probably 90% Zinfandel. Total production could not have been 10,000 cases with the 3 wineries combined. I'm sure it was much less than that. Just sold locally, just jug wines, nothing that would really get you excited. Then the Doc Olmo and Doc Alley, when we were doing the soil analysis and climate, just checking the Paso area out for grapes. Doc Olmo said, this is where you want to plant your vineyards, and we planted about 700 acres that became, or was the Estrella River Winery, or vineyards, and then eventually the winery, which long after I left, was sold to Nestle's, and they changed the name to Meridian. And Chuck Ortman came in as winemaker there and made some really great wine. Just
in the short time that I've been visiting Paso since 2000, I kept hearing about Zinfandel, and it seems in more recent years that I'm hearing a lot more of Paso as the real grown zone, and I believe, the varietals are great, the wines are tasting great. Mm-hmm. Do you think that there's maybe a Paso identity shift in some way, or?
Paso, Vitis vinifera is a very versatile little grape. The plant, it adapts pretty well to quite a range. And if you look where Vitis vinifera, evolved in what was Mesopotamia, what is now Iran, Iraq, dry, hot summers, cold nights, definite winter with a dormant period, because you got to have a dormant period. And you say, geez, you just described Paso Robles to a T. So I would say most of the varietals from Vitis vinifera do very well in Paso. I find that almost all of the Bordelais varieties, the Rhone varieties, a lot of the Italian, in fact, I think it's much easier to name the varieties of vinifera that don't do well in Paso than do well. Cabernet is our #1 planted grape in the area. Merlot would be second. And I still think the best wine that we make is Cabernet. One of my other claims to fame, in 40 years I've never made Merlot. And I'm very proud of that.